what was Gaia's plan? That's like the main question I have throughout the majority of Heroes of Olympus. What is her end goal? And honestly, I don't really know what it is. So let's talk about that. Gaia is a complicated, well, she's not really complicated, let's just kind of get out of the way. Gaia is a very simplistic villain. The Titans, we kind of knew what they were going for. Again, slightly simplistic to a degree. They just wanted to get rid of the gods and use their children to do it so they could be in power like they were before. Slightly simplistic goals, really sinister about it. They're kind of terrifying creatures, especially considering the fact that they use the demigods for a lot of their terrible actions. Gaia, on the other hand, wants to destroy the Earth, but also wants her giant children to be in charge again from the sounds of it. Also wants to use the demigods because she wants them to fight each other. And she also wants to use the demigods to bring her back to life. But she only needs two of them, a boy and a girl, and she needs them at Mount Olympus to spill their blood, to wake up. But then she causes problems for them to be able to get to Mount Olympus, delays it hugely, even though she doesn't need to, because there are actually multiple moments in America where she could have taken a boy and a girl and had them taken to Mount Olympus, or she could have just not caused problems on the way for them to get to Mount Olympus, just so she could then spill their blood. Do you kind of see the problem I have of trying to figure out what Gaia's end goal was in general? Because her logic just doesn't logic. I truly do not understand what Gaia was going for. I mean, she kidnaps Piper's father to kind of get her to take Jason and Leo to Mount Diablo so they could be dealt with by the giant. Honestly, I don't even know why she took Piper's dad, if I'm honest. Because her blackmailing Piper didn't really have an end goal. Because we don't really know what was going to happen when they then got to Mount Diablo. Because nothing happened on Mount Diablo beyond the destroying of that giant, and then they have to get to another giant to stop. Of course, they don't stop him in time, it's a whole thing. But I never understood why she was blackmailing Piper. I also never really fully got why she killed Leo's mum. Well, I know technically Leo killed his mum, but like it was because of Gaia. I also don't really understand fully her obsession with Percy specifically. Like that whole thing in Son of Neptune. She does this whole thing with the Gorgon blood where she's like, yeah, Percy, you are super significant. I'll kill Phineas instead. And I'm just kind of like, but why is Percy significant? You've got Frank and Hazel right there. All you need is one boy and one girl. You don't need Percy. You've got a boy and a girl right there. Why do you specifically need Percy? And then she tries to kill various one of them at random points, not in Mount Olympus. I know you kind of want to get rid of some of the seven at some point because they're powerful together somehow. But then each time she kind of has the chance to take some of them, she doesn't. It's a really complicated issue. I think my main problem is actually in House of Hades, where she has evil Elsa, whose name I can't say her name, the goddess of snow person, kidnaps all of them, except for Piper, who she's going to leave abandoned on the ship, and that she's kidnapping them for Gaia, but then also not, because they don't actually. Because the whole thing is that they're leaving Piper behind. They're taking Jason, Hazel, Frank, Nico, and Hedge back with them to Canada. And obviously, she like explodes Leo, and we find out later he goes to Calypso. And then Annabeth and Percy are still in Tartarus at that point in time, and they're just saying now they're dead anyway. So is she gonna take Frank and Hazel and like spill their blood on Mount Olympus? Because that's the only way that she can rise. But for some reason, she never really wants Frank and Hazel. Even though she has more opportunities to actually take Frank and Hazel, there's like one line where she's like, yeah, I can, like, if I must, I'll have Frank and Hazel, which a weird thing where she's like the only couple with two people of color in, and she's like, If I have to use them to come back alive, I'll use them. Weird. But I don't fully get her end goal. And I don't really understand the journey that it takes to get there, because it just takes forever. And also, I don't know what, like, she's just going to rise to destroy the world, but she is Earth, so she's rising to destroy herself. Like, she doesn't want people there. This is the whole thing. She is Mother Earth. That's the whole thing. Why would she want to rise to destroy everything? Like, get rid of the humans. Sure, fair enough. We suck. We're destroying your planet. Focus on the fact that she wants to make the world green again, and bring about a new age of living. We don't need the humans. We'll thrive without them. Very, very true. Very, very realistic. That's never really brought up. It's just saying that she wants to destroy the world, basically. But also, then it kind of doesn't say that. Unless I missed something entirely, we never really get a full explanation for why Gaia wants to rise, why she's bringing her giant children back, and just the point of it all is never fully explained. And it's confusing as hell. Also, additionally, the fact that Gaia, in mythology, never really had a problem with the gods. She kind of was, like, cool with them. Even after they killed her kids. Well, two of her kids as well. Well, other times her kids were her grandkids. I can't remember. But, like, she never really has much of a problem with them. So why is she the villain? And not just the giants? Like, it should have just been the giants or Gaia. But also, there's no real reason for why the giants, except for that whole thing of, like, oh, things always repeat. The Titans come back to try and take over. The giants come back because the gods also fought them. It's a repeating of the past wars. That I get. But also, you kind of give them, you got to give them a reason for being there. And as far as I'm aware, we don't get one. And it's pretty confusing, because our villains need motivations. Luke hated his dad. His dad was terrible. He ruined his life. He ruined his mother's life. It was a horrific thing. He was then abandoned. All demigods were abandoned. Justifiable hatred. He's tricked into working with Kronos because of all that sort of stuff. And Kronos wants to use the demigod children because the irony of the fact that, just like he was killed by his children, the demigods will kill their parents. Or their grandparents. It's a twisted irony, and he wants to get rid of the gods because the gods killed him. Makes sense. And then we have Gaia. Do you see my problem? We need, like, even if it's like a small thing, we need a bit of an explanation, or a justification, or a reason. It doesn't have to make, well, it does kind of have to make sense. It doesn't need to be a big thing, but it does need to make sense. Her destroying the world doesn't make sense. Her wanting to raise the giants to help her destroy the world also doesn't really make sense. All of her reasons, all of what she does, none of it makes sense. Unless I'm really stupid, which is possible. So if I am stupid, let me know, because I just never understood her reasons. Did you? If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on what you thought Gaia's reasons for wanting to rise were. Because honestly, I don't know. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe, comment, like, share with your friends. Check out my Patreon, buy my books. And yeah, as always, again, thank you, and I'll see you all next time.